So let's quickly talk about the contribution of the pentose phosphate pathway to the general body metabolism. All right, I remember when we were still doing the preclinical stuffs, we're more of like pathways, their enzymes, how the pathway progress from one substrate to another. All right, but now we've grown. We're basically talking about how we can be able to apply all these preclinical knowledges toward how the body functions. All right, so I'll be answering a past examination question. And the past examination question was asked like this: contribution of the pentose pathway to the general body metabolism. All right, so you basically list out if the pentose phosphate pathway is important to general body metabolism or not. Okay, so moving, this is the pentose phosphate pathway. All right, I like you guys to note this enzyme that's the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, which is the rate limiting test for this pentose phosphate pathway. Okay, so the pentose phosphate pathway generates what? The NADPH, okay, which works with glutathione to help detoxify free radicals and peroxides in red blood cells. Okay, so now this is important in maintaining the integrity of the red blood cell membrane. Okay, so it will work with glutathione and help to detoxify free radicals and peroxide. And also the significance of this is evident in what? Glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency. Okay, and okay, to dispose the individual to having what? Hemolytic anemia. All right, so if this is not there, then the red blood cells will not be detoxified of free radicals and peroxide. Right, so the membrane integrity will not be maintained, so you find a lot of red blood cells being broken down. Do you understand? So now the rate limiting step and point of regulation of the pathway is that which is catalyzed by what? The glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. See here, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme is the rate limiting step for this. Okay, so now the non-oxidative reversible phase generates what? Ribose precursor. Okay, so now we said that this pathway does not lead to formation of energy, but however it has two functions: generation of what? Reduced NADPH for synthesis of fatty acid and steroid, and reduction of oxidized glutathione that will lead to what? Detoxification for what? Free radicals and peroxide. All right, and also for synthesis of ribose or pentose phosphate, and this ribose will aid in what? Nucleotide and nucleic acid biosynthesis. Okay, so you can see this is a full pathway here in case you want to actually learn how to draw it. All right, but we looked mostly at this enzyme as glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. All right, and that will basically what? Produce NADPH and what? Ribose or pentose phosphate. Okay, so the pathway comprises of the oxidative and non-oxidative phases. So there's a non-oxidative phase starting from here, oxidative phase is up there. All right, the oxidative phase is what? Non-reversible. That means it's irreversible. All right, that's it about what? The contribution of the pentose phosphate pathway to the general body metabolism. And see you guys pretty soon.